it's a blessing. Like, it's a blessing to be a woman. It's a blessing to be in the energy of receptivity. It's a blessing to be the muse, to be the art, because that's what the woman is. The woman is the art. The woman is the muse. The woman is the painting. Like, she is the beauty. Hi guys. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's little episode or whatever, I wanted to talk about shame and guilt that surrounds the woman's body. So if you guys are interested in that topic, then please stay tuned. Whew, okay. So honestly, I set my camera up today not really knowing what I wanted to talk about. But I was literally just talking to God about this. So I figured, why not talk about that, since that's the last thing that I had on my spirit, I guess. Yeah, I realized that I had so much shame and guilt surrounding my own body. And I realized also that that shame and guilt wasn't something that I was born with. It wasn't something that, you know, I just grew up automatically feeling shame and guilt around my physique. I realized that other people, whether it was my mom, whether it was students at my schools, like sexual partners, like no matter what, it was like, you know, different people. And some of them were intentional, but some of them weren't. Every single person wasn't just like, oh, let me make you feel bad about your body. Let me make you feel bad about how you look. You know what I'm saying? But I just realized that no matter if the intention was there or not, that's what got stored in my chakra, in my sacral chakra. I feel like if not all, then majority of women definitely have experienced some sort of shame or guilt around their body in some type of way. People will see another person and automatically assume like, oh, that person can't experience that. That person could never feel like that. But you don't know what that person internalizes, you know? So human beings experience shame and guilt. It doesn't matter what you look like to other people or how you're perceived by other people. If you are a human being, then it's possible for you to experience shame or guilt at some point in your life. So just wanted to put that out there. Body shaming was definitely huge coming from religion and just patriarchal societies regardless, which the Western culture in America is a patriarchal society. So, you know, women tend to deal with a lot of body shaming. But it's very interesting though, because on one hand, women, like let's say feminism for example, women can deal with body shaming in the way of like wanting to cover up and not wanting to connect to the body anymore, wanting to honestly disconnect and even pretend that it's not there, like wanting to kind of block off that divine connection to your body as a woman. But then on the other hand, there's like over sexualization and like showing your body to try to get validation and attention and love, and like even though that is not the source of those things, you use your body in that way to try to feel seen or feel heard or feel loved or feel accepted, to feel something. A lot of the times as a woman, to feel something is something that definitely should be acknowledged. But this is the thing, not to acknowledge it from the standpoint of being a victim. It should be acknowledged from the standpoint so that it can be released from your chakras, from your body, and you can feel liberated and empowered as a woman. Because the thing is that number one, if you're a woman, you have lady parts. Like that's just I mean, you can go about changing that in certain ways, but 9 times out of 10 you have those lady parts for the rest of your life, you know? So it's like you got to think about it like this. Like if God made you this way and God chose for you to be a woman, chose for you to have this body, and chose for you to have a feminine essence, if you identify as a feminine energy woman, then why in the world would God then say, but don't feel connected to it and don't love it and don't even like it. Matter of fact, just ignore it. Just don't even look at it. Like, just act like it's not there. Just pretend that it's not there. Cover it up. Go into the corporate world. Just don't even pay it any attention. Don't touch it. Don't let anybody else touch it. Don't let anybody see it. Just put it away. Like, God wouldn't say that, right? Like, God didn't say, oh, you're blessed with being a divine, beautiful, loving, open, receptive woman, but like, cover it up because I don't want to see it. Like, that's not how that worked, right? So I just find it interesting now that I could think about it like that, because I wasn't always able to view it that way. But now that I'm able to view it that way, it's just like, that doesn't really make much sense now, does it? Like, no, it doesn't. And we have to like understand that, you know, the shame and the guilt and the disconnect and the separation of love that we may feel towards our bodies as women is a conditioning given to us by other people from their perspectives. That's it. It's not something that you're born with. You're not born feeling that way about yourself. And God really didn't tell you to feel that way about yourself. So once you step into the understanding that, well, hold on, like, and then not just to step into that point of like realizing like, well, hold on, like, why do I feel this way? Like, God didn't tell me to feel this way. Like, this is not natural to me. But then to go a little further and realize that it's a blessing. Like, it's a blessing to be a woman. It's a blessing to be in the energy of receptivity. It's a blessing to be the muse, to be the art, because that's what the woman is. The woman is the art. The woman is the muse. The woman is the painting. Like, she is the beauty, you know? And once you realize that, and you realize like our bodies were made for pleasure, you know, our bodies were made for pleasure. As women, we have a specific part on our bodies that is literally only made for pleasure. Like, literally. Why do you think God didn't make a mistake? God didn't say, oh, dang, I dropped it on him. Like, I dropped it on him. Should I take it off? Nah, they could keep it. Like, hope they don't touch it though. Like, no, that did not happen. Like, it didn't happen that way. I promise y'all. I promise it didn't. When you realize that these things were not given to us by mistake, the only reason why it feels in these low vibrational negative ways is because conditioning and social media. And now we have access. My phone's obviously recording, but I can pick up my phone and see 10,000 different women, all shapes and sizes. And then I see comments of what's validating who to be beautiful and what's telling me that it's not. And it's so manipulative. Like, it's such, like, you know, the internet is a beautiful thing, but you got to understand a tool is what you make it. A tool is how you use it. So if you get on social media every day and you allow for other people's perspectives, people that barely like themselves, to tell you how to feel about yourself, that's a no-no. Like, like, it's a no-no. Like, that's done. 2023. Like, let that go. And she's needed. She makes the world colorful. Without the woman, the world is black and white and gray. With the woman, there's color, there's fun, there's joy, there's bliss. But we've been conditioned to disconnect from what is the sacred woman, which is all the things that I just named. We've been conditioned to disconnect from what is. You know, every woman has their flavor. So, you know, within the divine feminine, there's not just one type of woman. Obviously, that's why we have different shapes and sizes and ethnicities and hair colors. And some women like orange hair, some women like black hair. Like, we have so many different flavors, y'all. And it's just like, we've allowed for those differences and those ways of being unique to become a problem for us. And we've started this culture, and it's not a culture, but let's name it that. We started this culture where everyone wants to look the same. Everyone wants to be the same. Everyone wants to have the same botched body. Everyone wants to have the same everything. Is that something that you really desire? Is that something that God told you to do? Is that something that you spiritually feel in alignment with? Did you sit with yourself and ask your higher self, like, do I want this BBL? And your higher self was like, girl, do it. Or did you allow for social media and random people that you don't even know to influence you to get something that you may regret later? That's all I'm saying. Like, I would never judge anyone's decision to do anything because we all have free will. I'm just saying, is that something that you really feel in your heart chakra to do? Make sure, you're making certain decisions because you actually want them and not because you feel shamed and you feel guilt into doing something. So even on the opposite side, when it comes to a lot of religions tell women to cover up and to feel, shame and guilt and stuff like that around their bodies, it's just like, do you see us? Do you see women? Like, we are beautiful, we are gorgeous, we are lovely. Like, why would you ever tell us to feel shame and guilt around what God gave us? That makes no sense. No sense. And it's just a realization that a lot of the times people make you feel shame and guilt because they're jealous of you, because their own insecurities. A lot of the times people make you feel shame and guilt because they can't control themselves around you, which happened in patriarchy. Men, no, and this is not men bashing. I love men. The divine masculine is very important to my heart, okay? But a lot of men were not able to control themselves around women, so they had to make a bunch of rules to make women feel like they were doing something wrong by being themselves. Y'all gotta understand, like, it's not for us to feel shame about being who we were created to be. That makes no sense. So now I have to feel shame because I'm showing my shoulders. I don't understand. I don't understand. But it's because you look at me, no matter what inch, what part, which angle of my body you look at me, and you feel lust within yourself. So now you can't control that, and you want to blame me, and you want to make me feel bad for being beautiful, and you feel bad for wearing your hair out, and you feel bad for having your shoulders out, and you feel bad. And it's like, well, why don't you take responsibility and accountability for your inability to control yourself? That's all I'm saying. We need to come into a space in our lives now. We're going into 2023, y'all. Like, it's a new year. Let's do new things. Like, we need to come into a space where it's not just okay, but it's a sacred healing space to be who we are created to be as women. Like, I'm just lost. Like, I'm done with this. Like, we were created how we are. This is it. And it's like, you can't make me feel bad for what I was given because you can't control your urges. It's time for women to awaken into being the sacred woman, the goddess, the art, the muse, unapologetically. And it's time for men to awaken into their consciousness to be able to control their urges, because that's not our responsibility. It's not my responsibility to figure out how you feel and how you may feel and how you may think, and now I gotta figure out how to mold myself to be not a problem for your hormonal urges. Like, that I can't get down with that, y'all. Like, I can't. But again, I'm saying, like, I don't think it's about censoring yourself. I don't think it should be about censoring ourselves as women. I think that we should come into a place where it's time for the other half of the coin to be seen. Like, that's all I'm saying. And the shaming and the guilting of women's bodies, and like how I'm over it. Like, I'm fed up. And I feel this way only because I've recently been able to connect with my own sacral chakra. Like, I've recently been able to connect with my own internal sexual energy. I dismantled this part of me. I've closed this part of myself off. I've hidden this part of me. I've marked it off. I put an X on it. I told it that it wasn't safe to be because of other people. That's insane to me. It's still fresh. It's still fresh because I was just having this conversation with God literally before I got on the camera. So it's still fresh. So I'm getting a little emotional. But it's just because this energy, it doesn't feel just like sex, raunchy lust. Like, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like love, and it feels like emotions, and it feels like your connection to you. You feel whole. You feel seen. It just feels like pleasure. And and it's just sad to think that for over a decade of my life, I told this part of myself that it wasn't okay to come out because someone told me this one time and this person told me that one time and I got called this, and you know, when I had this sexual experience, this happened. That's so wrong. It's not okay. And I feel the need to speak up about that. So it's just like, I don't care. Like, I believe that every woman should be able to touch themselves in this way. Literally and figuratively, I feel like women should be able to touch themselves in this way. That came out wrong but right. I thank you guys for watching my video. Hopefully it was of some substance and some help to any woman out there. I love you guys so much. And I don't know why I've been so just emotional after literally this earlier. Like, I'm just so emotional, and I love you guys so much, and I really hope that this message is helpful to someone out there. So thank you for watching, and bye.